What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Thingos back again for another video, and I want to talk about something interesting. You already know it's another Invincible video for the day, but I'm going to read through another article. This one isn't going to be about any characters getting added to the series or anything like that. It's going to be about a live action Invincible movie. Now, I've made a couple of videos about this on my channel before. I remember back when they first announced Invincible even becoming like another form of media, like before the show came out or anything, they was talking about this movie first. I got super excited, and I remember I made a live reaction video about it. This was on my previous channel, and I talked about it, and I talked about how it would be cool, but I honestly don't know how they were going to tell the story or be able to condense all that stuff in a movie. You know, movies are typically like an hour, 30, 40 minutes long, sometimes 2 hours and 30-some minutes if they really want to stretch it to the max capacity, but 3 hours kind of pushing it, even though I do like Invincible that much. They can make the shit as long as The Dark Knight Rises if they want to, but the point that I'm trying to make is even if they had a movie be as long as it could possibly be, there would still be a lot of stuff that would have to be condensed and cut out to be able to fit it inside of a film format. So I was thinking to myself, and I remember saying in that video years ago, it's probably like 4 years ago now, I was like, bro, how can they do this? I would much prefer if they made this an animated series, because they would be able to translate the cartoon. They would be able to translate the comic book to a cartoon a whole lot easier, and they could probably get a lot more of the material adapted more organically, better, and they'll be able to put a lot more stuff in there and tell the story more naturally throughout, like a show that has multiple seasons and stuff like that. Thankfully, that's what they chose, and that's what they did. Now, when they did that, I thought that they abandoned the idea of the live action movie, but I do remember that the people that they had attached to it was Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. These two are a dream match made in heaven. They work together a lot on a lot of different projects. They actually brought us the Preacher live action show, which is pretty damn good. Still got to finish that show. The comic book is the comic is legendary. I fucking love the comic book of Preacher. I ain't even gonna lie, it's fucked up, but I'm a fucked up individual, so I like fucked up stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's damn, it's fucked up, though. I mean, even for my standards, it's a little. Preacher can get intense, but I love it. I remember I was thinking to myself, how the hell are they gonna adapt this to a show? But they did it. The show is fucked up as well. Like I said, I still have to finish it, but I'm impressed with how they was able to make a successful show of Preacher anyway, because I didn't even think that could be done, but they did their thing. And they also work on The Boys, and we already know how good The Boys is. I'm not even going to go into much detail about that show. We all know the quality and how good that is. I will be talking about that in future videos, though, with my boy Cody, so be on the lookout for that. Got a lot of live streams and podcasts set up for when I get back home to my actual official studio. But anyway, these two, they worked on a lot of stuff, and they were the two people that were originally attached to make this movie that was going to be, I think, produced by Universal. So it's pretty cool, but like I said, I thought the entire idea got abandoned once they made the Invincible animated series on Amazon. So I was just like, oh yeah, this is done and dusted. You know what I'm saying? But after the show premiered, or after it was getting closer and closer to the show, we started getting reports that, hey, the movie is still on. I made a video kind of joking about it, just like, man, they ain't gonna put this shit out. And I remember I actually made another video following that, talking about how thankful I was that they actually chose to do the animated series instead of the movie. Not that the prospect of a live action movie couldn't work, I just know that there will be a lot of drawbacks and a lot of cuts to making that, and I just don't know how it would be done. Could it be done? Yes, but you would have to really plan it out, know exactly the story you want to tell, and you would have to do it right. Personally, if I was going to do a movie for Invincible, I would go the Demon Slayer route. I would keep it animated, and I would make a movie about like one of the biggest events in the comic book series. Like, I'll have it all be canon and connected. Like, let's say the show goes for like 2-3 seasons, and then we get to the whole Invincible War and Conquest and everything. I could make that a movie. Like, we could make that into a movie that would easily sell tickets. It would be live as hell, because it would even have a similar structure to the Demon Slayer movie. Spoilers for that movie, I don't know if anybody has seen it yet, but in the Demon Slayer movie, the movie takes place during actually an arc, an official canon arc in the manga. Most movies, especially anime movies, they use like Dragon Ball Z and shit like that, or the Naruto movies, you know, just typically, you know, anime movies, they don't really take place in like an actual time of the anime. they actually are like offshoot stories that they could still be canon or non-canon. It's really debated, but most of the stories are outside of the mainline series. They're just added content. Sometimes if the movie is good enough, they find a way to integrate that story and the characters or whatever into the mainline series in the canon. They did that with Dragon Ball Z as well, but I really like how they did it with Demon Slayer, because they had the first season go all the way through to a certain point of the manga, and then when the first season ended, where the first season ended, right after that we get into the Mugen Train arc if you was reading the book. Now the Mugen Train arc, which is the title of the movie, it could have easily been like a season 2 of the anime, but instead of doing that and stretching it out and stuff, what they did was they just made the entire Mugen Train arc into a movie, and it definitely benefited well. The Demon Slayer movie Mugen Train is one of the most successful animated movies to ever be released. It did amazing numbers. It killed it at the box office. It's quality. If you've seen it, it's a very good movie. It deserves all the praise that it received. The animation is gorgeous, and I just really like how they set that up. They could easily do the same thing with Invincible. Take a super important, epic, huge arc that's from the series and just put it into a movie, and you know what I'm saying, and they can keep it animated. I don't have nothing wrong with animated movies in theaters. I honestly think we need to have more of those. We don't have to have everything be live action. You could just make the animation look a little cleaner, look a little better, and you could turn it into a feature-length film. And like I said, similar to how the Mugen Train movie is structured, you have Tanjiro and his crew and the main characters and everything. They was taking care of this demon threat on this train, and once they got done with that entire mission that just took up the entire movie, and it was a very hard mission. They had to try their hardest. They fought hard. It was a lot that went into that fight, and they just they did a lot. It was a lot. And then after they got done with all that, and you think they won, out of nowhere, a super strong demon villain pops up, Akaza, and he fights against one of the main characters, and Rangeku. Amazing character, like R.I.P. dude, like that. Oh my god. Anyway, fights against him. This character was seen at Rangeku, the character that was actually good and on their side. He's seen as like a super strong warrior throughout the entire movie, and then at the end of the movie he fights against this equally strong demon, and it's an amazing fight. Even the demon acknowledges how good of a fighter he is, and they're going back and forth, and it's just a great fight. But ultimately he loses the fight, and it's a very sad moment in the series. It came out of nowhere, like I said, because after they got done with that whole adventure, that whole fight, the whole movie, they was on edge doing everything they could to win against the demon that they was already sent to take care of, that took over the train. And then when they beat that demon and it seems like the battle is won and everything is done, Akaza just pops up out of nowhere. Now, if you've read Invincible and you've read the Invincible War, you know that it's similarly structured, and they could actually do that same thing pretty much in the damn Invincible movie. With the Invincible War, you have Angstrom Levi. He actually opens up multiple dimensional portals, bringing out multiple versions of Invincible from different worlds, and he sends them on Invincible and on Earth to just attack it. You have Invincible. He teams up with multiple different heroes in the Invincible universe, and in just the Image catalog, he teams up with characters like Sarah Pazzini, Witchblade, the Youngbloods, Spawn, Jackie Estacado, the Darkness. Like he teamed up to the Mac. He teams up with a lot of cool characters. Oh, I said the Mac. Did he team up with him? No. He teamed up with the Pit. I think his name is the Pit. It's a lot of characters from the Image catalog that jumped in on this fight. It was awesome. It was so much going on, but ultimately it was all done in one issue. But it was still epic. You had main characters that actually died, some that gave their lives in the fight. It was a lot of shit that went on, and ultimately after this huge epic event, there was a lot of damage. There was debris everywhere, buildings that were destroyed, so much collateral damage, and people that died in this war, and Invincible felt directly responsible for it. And then after all of this, after the battle is won, and they took significant losses, but they still won the fight. When it's all done and people are licking their wounds and they're trying to work together to try to fix the damage that is done, and it's just so much damage, and they just barely finished with the fight. Out of nowhere comes Conquest levitating down in front of Invincible, and he straight up tell him like, bruh, I've been sitting here to check on your progress, man, and see how you doing with conforming this planet and getting it ready for the Viltrumite Empire. I'm here to evaluate you, nigga. If you unfit for the job, I'm here to kill your ass and take your place. So what's up? You ready to catch this fade? And Invincible just like, are you serious, nigga? After all that, like, do you see this? Do you see all of this? I'm directly responsible for all of this, bruh. So the only thing that I want to do, the only thing that I need to do and that I'm thinking about doing right now is punching the shit out of something. I need something to release my anger on. I need something to destroy right now because I'm pissed the fuck off. You picked the wrong time to come in my face with this Viltrumite shit, nigga. And he was just like, come, child. And he's and then you get probably one of the best fucking fights that I've ever seen in the Invincible series. And like I said, you could turn that into a movie. You could have the whole movie mostly be centered around the Viltrumite War. I mean, no, not the Viltrumite War. You can turn that into a movie too, though. But you can have the whole movie centered around the Invincible War and everything, and then at the end, just have that conquest fight come out of nowhere and be like the last 20 minutes of the movie. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a much longer fight than the fight that we got at the end of Demon Slayer. This fight need to be long, and it need to be brutal, bloody, savage. Every word that you can think of that encapsulates what that means. Because I'm telling you, bro, like this fight is the very definition of turn the fuck up, and they could literally structure that like a movie. They don't have to do it live action, but hey, who am I? What do I know? They say they want to do it live action. Now there's an article here actually going into a little detail about it, so I'm going to read this article real quick and we're going to wrap this video up. This is from Hypebeast and it's titled, Invincible is getting a live action film adaptation, but Robert Kirkman insists it'll be different from the animated series. How so? Here we go. A live-action film adaptation of Invincible is on its way. Speaking at this year's Comic-Con at Home event, the original comic book and animated series creator and writer Robert Kirkman confirmed that a live-action adaptation is indeed in development, although the project is currently at a very early stage, and so he couldn't reveal too many details about it. This is another one of those things that's a little early going, but I will say that there are massive efforts going in to make sure that the film experience is unique and separate from the animated series, while also being true to Invincible, the creative tease. I couldn't be more excited about the stuff that we're doing, but I can't tell you yet. What exactly that means is still anyone's guess. Since the animated series itself follows quite closely to the comic book, so the new live-action movie could feature completely original content from Kirkman. There's also no information yet on when it'll be released or which platforms it'll be available on, though presumably Amazon will be one of them, so fans of the series should definitely stay tuned for more updates to come. That could be cool as well if they make it like an Amazon original movie. I didn't even think about that. They could definitely do that considering the deal that they have with Amazon already. And also another interesting prospect that they said in this interview that makes me think, what if he makes it purely original content? Like, you still have the characters from Invincible in the live action movie, but he could make it an original story, an original villain, and choose which point in time he wants it to kind of take place in. But that would also mean that he'd be taking into consideration that he'd be like assuming that most people have seen the cartoon. So I don't know, it's still a lot to do because you would have to explain who Invincible is for people who haven't watched the cartoon, and without making it feel like too much exposition. And then you would have to lead it into the plot of the actual story and what they're going to do with the movie. So it's definitely interesting and complicated. I would do it like how I wanted to do it. I feel like that is the easiest, safest way to go, and you could still make bank off that, and it would still be an awesome decision, like the plan that I laid out earlier about how they could make it a cartoon that actually, you know, just brings to life one of the arcs that are, you know, actually in the story of the storyline of the comic. They could just do it like that, like on some Demon Slayer type shit. I think that's the best way to do it. But a live action movie, either way, I still want to check it out, and I still want to see what they do. It's interesting to think about, but I'm telling you, man, I'm puzzled on how the fuck they're going to be able to do this shit. So let me know what you think they could do with a live action movie. How would you like to see it done? Do you agree with how I laid out how I would do it personally? with it being an animated movie, like I said, it just tells the story of like one of the best arcs or whatever, and just makes it into a feature-length film. They could literally make like a trilogy like that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, either way, I'm down. More Invincible content is definitely exciting, and I'm gonna talk about it either way. But I'm very interested in this, man. It's a lot of stuff that could be done with this either way. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, man. Let YouTube know that you fuck with me, so you already know the videos can be recommended to more people. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified for more videos like this one. And if you would like to join the group, get on Facebook and look up Viltrumites Take Flight. Join the Facebook group. Try to put up posts every day on there with information about Invincible, and also funny little memes, jokes, and stuff like that. And I don't just talk about Invincible on there either. I talk about a lot of different various forms of media, shows, video games, and things I like. So you just have a good time, join the group, and we'll just chop it up. And also, if you would like to join the Discord, Invincible Disciples, aka IDs, go ahead and hit that link in the description and join the Discord so we can keep the discussion for Invincible alive. And yeah, hope you're having a good day, night, wherever you are, and until next time, guys, peace.